Hey, guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Hope everybody's there. Check this. Yep, nice. Um, I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Okay. I heard something this morning, and it's been. I heard an echo here. Oh, here we go. I heard something this morning, and it really it it wakes you up. It's very sobering. We'll say. I really don't know how to talk about it. I'd like to, but at the same time, I, I'm 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 afraid to. I can't. Um. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to invite. I'm going to regret this. I'm going to invite someone over. Okay. And this ought to be fun. I don't think this has actually been done. There you are. Paste. There you go. Um, I'm not sure this has been done. This would be a first, I think. You know. Uh, I can't see any comments. I don't like that. Why can't I see any comments? I mean, I know I'm live, right? Via my channel. I see comments. Comments. No, no comments. What's up with that? I get no comments. What? What's missing? What's missing? What's missing? Copy, right? Maybe I have to get out of this and get back into it because something's not right. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. All right. Donna's here. Liz is here. Okay. So people are coming in. All right. Hey, Edwin. So grab a cup of coffee or a beverage. This is going to be fun. Let me tell you a story. So my sister, who doesn't really get involved with much of anything, she uh she finds out about this Karen Reed thing. So I send it to Turtle Boy's website, and she comes back with a notebook, and she says, Tom, I have questions, and I just laugh because it's so funny because there really legitimately there are a ton of questions. I mean, this notebook is all Karen Reed, all this. Think about that for a minute. This is all just me. I have nothing of value, and I have all these questions. So I don't want to spoil the laughter, and I don't want to take away from Mike because I didn't realize Mike was having his show tonight with Rita, and that whole vote. If anyone that is listening to this is from Canton, you have to vote tomorrow. Please, please, please vote. It's your right. People died for you to have that right and that ability to go and vote. Tomorrow's one of those days that makes or breaks a town. You have the right people in place to help bring the town forward to another level. I'm not saying that it's at a bad level. Um, I could argue that. I could definitely argue that because I'll tell you a story, and I hope I hope I can maybe get some answers to my questions in regards to this. So this is just on something completely separate, real quick. Mm, Miss Elena Rafferty, the egg thrower. That yeah, the Dana White, that the lady who threw the egg out of the BMW. Yeah. Well, like I told the detective, I was standing on the fog line. I was closest to the street. I was closest to the street so that the vehicles would see me and drive around the crowd of people. I was trying to move the crowd, the cars away from the crowd by standing in the street. It's just, you know, I was facing traffic. I did it safely, and the vehicles all merged and saw what I was trying to do, and they all went over, not into the other lane, but they within their lane they went over and gave us a little extra room so that everybody was safe just in case. The egg went right by me, and the little boy was right behind me. Thank God. Thank God they missed. I can't believe what would happen to that little boy if he got hit with an egg. Scared the heck out of him, was right next to him, traumatized the poor little kid. So, yeah, I filed a report with your investigator at Canton Police Department, and I didn't hear anything back either. I was a witness to the entire thing happening. I'm the one that told the guy exactly what happened. I saw it happen. So, with the egg thrower, Miss Lena Rafferty, I didn't get any information. I didn't get any notification whatsoever, even though I'm a reporting party that was a witness to the entire situation. I saw the entire thing. I was right there. Saw it, right? The poor kid. The poor kid, you know? And you're gonna let this go? You're gonna just let this just go, right? Because that's acceptable to Canton people. That behavior is acceptable to everyone that lives in that town. So per the chief of police. All right, this is gonna be fun. Here we go.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me, Tom?
Very loud.
I can't hear you very well. Can't hear you. I don't know if that works. Yeah, that would be helpful. I can't hear you. I cannot hear him. You can't make any noise. Tom,
I can hear him.
I cannot hear him.
I think he has to turn up his mic.
He has to turn up his mic.
I can hear him.
I can't hear anything.
I can hear him just very lightly.
I can't hear him.
Oh, can you guys can hear me now, right? Can you hear me? without without that in, without her in? Can you hear me? Anybody? Nothing else is open. I got StreamYard open. That's it. What's up? You can hear me now, right? Okay. You can hear me. Um, you may need to log out of YouTube on the laptop before you log in to this, Kerry. If you can hear me, make sure there's nothing else open. Just StreamYard link. There we go. So I'm gonna try it again. Yeah, Bob, I don't understand how that happens. That's what blows my mind. I have two feeds going. How's that even possible? Can you hear me now, Kerry? All right. Can you speak?
Can you hear me?
You're very loud. Can you hear me now?
Why every time? Say something again. I'm sorry, viewers.
Do you have YouTube open? Just StreamYard. Get out. Come back in. All right. Now, see when she logs in, it kills my mic for whatever reason. I don't know. That's bizarre, and it's not on my end, right? Can you hear me now? I'm trying not to overpower you with my sound here. I don't know how there's two streams going. It says I'm live here just once. Okay.
Hello. Yeah, the laptop is not working.
All right. Fixes that problem. Okay. Can you hear me now? Anybody? Yes. My mic and my audio is set. Like I'm there. Yep. Okay. How about that? Is that better? Okay. Here goes my sister one more time.
Kevin,
Is that your phone? Is that your phone?
all right, I can hear you now. You're turning me up, but you're not turning yourself up.
All right. Can you hear me, Kerry?
Yes.
Okay. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. There we go. You can hear me, right, Kerry?
I can hear you now, brother.
Awesome. So I was talking about yeah. I was talking about Canton, right? And you were asking me questions about it, and you said you had quite a lot of questions in regards to what happened.
I do. I do. So where do I begin? So hello everyone. I want to introduce myself. My name is Kerry, the honorary sister of Mr. Thomas. Very blessed to be his sister. Today is my son's birthday. He turned 11 years old Angel numbers. We love it. So we just had a little family get together. And now Tom's at his house. I'm at my house. And we're going to do a quick Q&A of questions I've asked him a week ago, a month ago, up to today. I'm going to try to go in chronological order of like the way that my brain views the case. And hopefully you can tag along with me and see if you can see things from my point of view. So I'm new to the case. I've only known a little bit about it for maybe 2 months. So to me, I'm a bit of an outsider, but I'm learning more and more every day. And so I'm going to start like at the beginning. One of my big questions is like John was supposedly a very, very kind man, a nice man from what I've heard. Did he know something before that night that they went out, before the night that he was murdered? Did he know something that maybe nobody else wanted him to know? What do you think, Tom?
You know that's the $1,000,000 question. Nobody knows what John specifically knew. What we know what he did for work. We know he was good at his job. We know he didn't have any enemies per se. There isn't an answer. There's no
Okay. Of course, I asked the $1,000,000 question. So then my next question is, I hear that, John's phone fluctuated staircases that night when Karen's didn't move. Can you give more detail about that to people that don't know?
Yeah, but what they're trying to say is, the prosecution is saying that speed bumps would cause the phone to look like it went up and down stairs when Karen was in the same vehicle and her phone doesn't show her going up and down stairs. You know, the newer phones nowadays, they're pretty accurate with the GPS coordinates and pretty accurate with the sensors they have in it. It's just like the rocket stuff. Put the sensors in something's easy. You accelerometers, G-force monitors, everything. It all fits in a phone now, so they can monitor the phone going up or down. Melody fell down a flight of stairs, knocked herself out, and 911 noticed that she fell down the stairs and already came to the house based on her Apple Watch. And
Wow.
that was a fall that it broke her nose. She had black. But they came to the house without being called based on a watch. So John had a phone.
Okay. So that answers my question there. And then this is might not be a question. It might be more of an opinion, so to say. It seems like Karen's getting a lot of flack for her intake of booze that evening. I think a lot of other people were drinking that night too, and I don't know if they Ubered home or if they drove themselves. So if we want to go back to that night and talk about things that were done illegally, there was like 3 or 4 people that got behind the wheel drinking and driving.
Listen, you had open containers. You had all sorts of violations you could have written them up for. That's again, cops are going to do cop type of stuff. They're going to walk out with a drink. Who's going to say anything to a cop walking out with what's left of a drink? Nobody. Because
That's just not right.
I agree. That's just what happens. And you got to remember, it was a blizzard. There was nobody out. They had the whole place to themselves. They closed the place.
Yeah.
They I don't want to say they had it under control, but they had enough where they knew they had enough, I think.
Okay. So on to the scene of where John, so upset to my heart, was murdered. I don't even like to use that word. I'm a very sensitive person. The dog and the autopsy. Where's the dog? And why is there a need to possibly lie about where the dog is. If the dog had nothing to do of the lacerations on his arms, then why don't they just say, oh, the owner is now in, let's say, Pittsfield? I'm just making up a town. What's your thought on that?
That's actually a really good thing. Um, the dog, uh, the dog's probably dead. And I'll tell you why that's the fact. Why that's more of a fact than it's not. The dog was a fighter. Okay, it went to canine school and failed. It didn't pass obedience school. Okay, it was a biter. It didn't bite correctly. Well, what not? It failed. He ended up with the dog, took it in. The dog bit two other people, and he said the dog in the grand jury testimony, he said the dog was not good with strangers. That is code for the dog bites. Now, if John walked in, that would have been the third person. If that dog bit John, that would have been the third person the dog bit.
How did you know that he was bit by 3 people?
Two
That
other
the
people,
dog bit 3 people?
2 other people went to the hospital and they needed medical attention. That's
Where did you get that evidence?
that was through the records that the animal control has that they keep for the dog, and then they said the dog was sent to Vermont and living the best life it's ever lived. That's what they say, but they won't produce the dog. The dog, I'm sure, the arm. John doesn't just have lacerations on his arm. He's got punctures. There's a difference between a laceration and a puncture. They're two different things. He's got both, and that's what dogs do. If you've ever been bitten by a dog, you know, dog. It bites, it tears, it scratches, it's a dog, and
I
that
just
dog.
think it's a pertinent piece of evidence, or part of the story.
Well, he got rid of the dog. Okay, right after this,
Mm-hmm.
and he redid his cellar for the third time right after this incident, and he sold his house for $50,000 less than market value after this incident. So you're worried about a dog?
Well, there you go. Wrap it up with a bow. I mean, he moved. That's showing a little bit of guilt right there, in my eyes, anyways, from an outsider.
Yeah, and who
So
does that?
on to the next question. Now, as far as the autopsy goes, how many autopsies has this man had? How many doctors examined him?
As far as I know, one medical examiner did it, and they took his body to Bourne to have it done all the
Because
way.
he's not to go to the Arlington Center. What's it called?
No, not it's not that. It's not military, and it's not that type of a thing, Kerry. It's they cherry picked who was working. Again, just like the night that the incident happened, Proctor wasn't even supposed to be working. It wasn't his turn. It wasn't his shift. He just showed up mysteriously off state police ferry. He just shows up in the crime scene, and he
You know,
never
it's
ambulance chaser. He's a I don't know. He's a chaser for something.
well, now that you mention that name, it's like, why do I not hear much coming from him? Is he in a gag order?
No, no. They tucked him away. He's behind a desk or he's taking some time off or whatever. But that doesn't mean his wife isn't working hard. You don't know about Lizzie, do
I
you?
don't know about his wife. So if you want to tell me a little bit about her, then let's hear it.
She calls people's places of employment and tries to get them fired based on their comments, whether they're pro Karen Reed or not Karen Reed. She'll make comments and try and get that person fired. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's a little over the line if you ask me. Um,
Oh,
It looks
but
like she's trying to stick up for her husband in some really creepy way.
okay. If you're gonna
Um,
stick up for your husband, do it another way. That's not the right way. I mean, these are innocents. These people that they're attacking are innocent people. They got nothing to do with it. They're making a comment. That's their First Amendment. They're allowed. They're allowed that.
okay, okay, fair enough.
Yep.
So my other question is, when I look at pictures from the scene, I don't see any caution tape. I don't see any blue lights. It's just like that is unfathomable for a murder site to not be closed off, for a neighbor not to hear a scream, or even a car like stop fast. I mean, in the neighborhoods in the South Shore, you can hear a pin drop in most places. So how is it that nobody heard anything?
Hey, listen, to have that type of scene unfold.
And why did nobody come out of the house to check? Like, we know that nobody came outside.
Which house you talking about? The one.
34 Fairview.
All right. Well, there's two things on that. One, they they the other side, one side says that they were sleeping. So you're gonna tell me that a first trained police officer who's got a stellar career, who's been decorated and went to Iraq, he's doesn't have the situational awareness to know that he's got a murder scene happening on his front yard. He doesn't know that, but he slept through all this, and they were using leaf blowers to clear the snow away, and they found some glass. So he never came out, and they said that he was sleeping. The other side, the other side is saying that she purposely, when she rolled up there, she was cool, calm, and collected.
Who was
She
cool?
Jen McCabe, when she pulled up there, she
Okay,
was
so let's remind. So Jen pulled up to the scene with who?
with Kerry Roberts and Karen Reed.
Okay, there we go. So now you're setting us the picture. Set the
They
scene.
they see John, they jump out of the car. They're gone. Poof, they're out. And they're screaming
Kerry and Karen.
back and forth, yelling. Right. Yep.
Jen's still in the car at this point, I'm assuming.
Jen's sitting there, cool, calm, and collected. Jen calls 911 and speaks to the operator, and at the same time as saying, "Yeah, don't bother me. I'm calling the ambulance right now. I got it." She's kind of putting Karen off when Karen's screaming, "Help, help, help." She's kind of putting her off.
I would have jumped right out of that car so fast, let me tell you.
Well, the thing is she knew who lived in 34 Fairview. She knew the person that lived there could save John's life, but she didn't do that. But she could have turned around even more and went to the guy across the street, the deputy chief, who he's a lifesaver too. He's a first train responder. And she's so close with all these people. She parties with them. She has their hat. She wears Boston fugitive unit hat. She's really close with the Alberts. And she didn't bother to ask them to come out and save the person she invited over.
So let's just say that that's a little fishy.
No.
Or
Well,
a lot fishy.
so
Now, you mentioned the glass, Tom. Were there fingerprints on that glass?
that's a good question. We don't know how the glass was handled by the Canton Police Department.
Okay. What about the shoe?
Well, that's a whole nother thing.
All right.
John was 6 foot something, okay? He was 73, 74 inches tall. He wore a size 13 shoe. You know how big a
I
size?
do. I actually do. I had an NFL family member, so yeah, I do. It's off the charts.
This dude's running around without a shoe, and they Canton didn't find it when they came out and looked at the scene, but they found a little shot of glass, but they missed the size 13 shoe. Isn't that awesome? But even
Makes me
better,
think the dog may have gotten at the shoe.
you know, uh, uh, you ever try and move 275 pounds of quote,
No.
quote dead weight, and they call it for a reason. I'll tell you right now. Have you ever tried moving 200 pounds of that?
No.
How about 100 pounds of that weight?
No. Dead weight anything is really hard.
Now, you're not one person's not moving that much weight.
Absolutely not. Yeah. Yeah, there had to be a team of people that and I always wonder where are the footprints in the snow, and the way that the scene was taken care of is totally not correct.
Well, that I see a comment in the thing, Donna, about the dog, right? About the shoe. It's funny, Donna, when canines they're trained to bite, when they do bite something, they're given a treat, like a ball or a chew toy or something. It's their treat. They do their job and they throw the treat, and the dog lets go of the attack and gets the treat, and he's all happy can be. Some dogs take baseball caps as a things. They take shoes as a memento. They sometimes the dogs take something after they attack. Y- 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 like that's what some of these dogs are just in. It's trained in them to do that.
Yeah,
After
because wasn't he wearing a hat too, Tom?
they was wearing a hat, and
Was the hat in the evidence bag with the clothes?
the hat had to be covered in blood. I don't know where the hat is or
Yeah.
found it. I don't know anything about the hat. It just showed up. Like it just showed up. It's just I don't know where to tell you about that. They got it.
So then I get bits of it. So going back to like John and the clothing and the phone, like the clothing was also gathered improperly. What is the deal with that? Because
Well,
maybe some people's DNA, hair, even from the dog, could have been on his clothes.
well, this is what happens. Okay, they get John. They bring him to the hospital. When they get to the emergency room, the nurses love them scissors. The first thing each nurse does is they start cutting.
Yep.
And the clothes is gone. They don't care about your clothes. They don't care what you look like naked. They see it all. They care about your life. They care to make sure you don't have any bullet wounds, stab wounds, anything else that's life threatening. They do a full assessment on the body right when you roll in. So his clothes they cut, and then they take and the nurses just throw it because it's out of the way, but it's all in a corner. So there's pictures of John's clothes in the corner with his John's feet and Proctor standing there. The clothes aren't in a bag. They're not in them. Sometimes you go to the hospital, you get those bags that they give you your belongings in.
Yeah.
It's not even in one of those. They're just
Mm.
so they ended up in Proctor's office for like 5 weeks or something like that. It was a bit.
So why was it for so long? Because he was holding it because it was so super special.
You know, I I know when I got taught the blood stuff that with the sooner you collect it, the sooner and the more information you can pull out of the drops of blood, if that makes sense. There comes a point where it's easy to get the I don't want to say the DNA, but identifiable information. That there comes
Yeah,
a
like blood type,
it,
whatnot.
it stuff degrades over a period of time and it goes faster, faster, faster. And
Okay.
they had you would think his clothing would be a high priority. A dead Boston cop on another cop's lawn, you'd want it to get fixed quick, but they didn't even
And
don't even
I heard there was not even caution tape put up, which normally it would be, regardless of a storm for 24 hours.
no caution tape.
Now,
I was
the
looking
other
at
thing that's very weird is, didn't a lot of neighbors like, weren't they friends with these people or something like that?
yep. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So give us a bit about the neighborhood.
it's like a cop neighborhood. You get a bunch of people that live like they're all neighbors. Like I drove by Officer Lank's house. He's got a beautiful house, nice side street, just like all the other houses in Canton. They're all beautiful, nice looking suburban houses. They're just nice houses. You know, it's a shame.
And
What
nobody heard a word that
no,
night of Karen upset.
you would think someone's screaming bloody murder, which she was. It, you know, it would wake up
That
anybody.
baffles my brain. That just boggles my brain. Like, I know in our neighborhood, if somebody hit somebody's car at 6 in the morning, just backed into it, everyone would be outside.
You can't hit a mailbox without people knowing. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And so this is just next level wrong in my eyes. And this is the future that my children have to live in. So, not that I love this stuff because I'm not a true crime girl. I don't like to watch this stuff, but I feel very, very sure of myself with what I've learned, which is not everything, that Karen is innocent. And in this country, innocent until proven guilty. She is, I just, she's not going to be found guilty.
No, but
Those cell phone records show everything. That shows she did not move. And then we all know that she pulled out of her driveway. So her phone had to show her steps walking to the car, and they know the exact time that she got in her car. It's just funny that they know the exact time for everything for Karen. But what about the rest of the people in the house? Like, where's their exact time? I know there was one of the women that Googled something kind of creepy.
yeah, she Googled house HOS long to die in the cold. She mistyped it. She misspelled it. Okay, that's why it's HOS house long to die in the cold. Why would somebody ask Google that question? Why? Why do you Google that? I don't understand. Why? Like, why? I, I can't fathom a reason. Does she
So the
care?
fact that we know that, right? We know that because that's been said.
No, this is the beauty of it all. The defense says this expert found it on on her Jen's deleted phone. Jen deleted her phone before she gave it to anybody. You know that, right? She took her phone and she did a factory reset and then she gave it to them. So there's nothing on it, nothing on it. See, it's blank. But the defense used a really smart guy. He got all the data back. You know how we recover data on the computers?
Yeah, like in each, like in like the special form.
He did the same thing from the phone, and he was able to look at everything that happened. And he saw at 2:27, house long to die in the cold. Now, the other side has this guy, the prosecution, Adam Wally, just saying, no, it didn't happen. Next. Yes, Your Honor, that paperwork was submitted. That's it. All he said was it didn't happen.
What
No,
the
no,
Google never happened?
that's what he said. I
Well,
can
he obviously lied on the stand.
well, he's a prosecutor. He doesn't get on the stand. He
Yeah,
gets
okay. Again, I am just new, so I don't know like every bit of
and,
who's who.
and
Um,
that's and you're gonna learn. That's okay. This is part of the learning thing because not everybody does know. That's good. So the prosecutor, he's the guy that's in charge of you're guilty. I'm gonna prove you did it. That's his job. He's the one on the Commonwealth on the Massachusetts side that attacking Karen. Karen's gonna defend herself. Her lawyers, she's got two, Alan Jackson and David Yannetti.
yeah, can we talk about the lawyers for a minute? Do you know any previous people that Alan has represented, like famous people or people of that we might know of?
Yeah, Kevin Spacey. You know Kevin Spacey,
Yeah.
big TV guy. He he got him off for some kid
That's-
tried to get money out of him, and the mother and the kid had a scheme going. They deleted the file on their phone. He found it, not guilty, because the mother and the son were in cahoots.
Okay, so let's remember, people, when we delete things, it never really goes away.
Never goes away.
So someone like me would have no problem giving my phone because I got nothing to hide.
Right.
These people seem like they have a lot to hide.
Now, Karen just won Supreme Court ruling, which is very big. The
Please
judge,
explain.
the Karen's side wants Jennifer's phone. We want to look at Jen's phone,
Mm-hmm.
and Jen's side says no, 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 not looking at her phone. They proved that Jennifer is a witness / suspect in the third party. What they're going after, we need to use her, see her phone, and the judge said no. And they went above the judge's head to the
Mhm.
Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court says yes. Now Karen's team gets to look at the phone calls within the 24-hour period of like 10 o'clock one day to 10 o'clock the next
Okay,
day.
so how long did it take for Alan to get that information? Or Mr. Jackson, I should, he deserves that title.
Well,
So when it happened, how long did he have to wait for them to give him the cell phone records?
they just got it. They just got the ruling
Just now. And this murder happened. What was the date of the actual murder?
almost 2 years ago. January, almost 2 years ago.
January, it'll be 2 years ago.
Yep.
And this is all still going on. What an awful system we have. I am sickened. Sickened.
Can you imagine being Karen every day for 2 years?
Absolutely not. And from what I see and know, from what I've learned, which, like I said, isn't a lot, she seemed to really love the man. And,
Oh my goodness, without a doubt.
maybe that night wasn't the best night of their life, but we all have had nights like that, right? Because I have a feeling that Karen didn't really like the people he was hanging with. It wasn't fun for her. So obviously that's why she went home.
I think Karen, her actions speak for herself. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
everybody, listen, when you're in Rome, you do what the Romans do. You don't think something bad's going to happen. Everybody's having a good time. That's just what I've been there. You've been there. Everyone's been there.
Yeah.
Just,
well, luckily, I don't drink, so I don't have to worry about drinking and driving. And I'm not ashamed to say that. But when I see other people that are, I've done it too. So like, I'm guilty of that myself. But
that doesn't,
it has nothing to do with the case. I'm just giving a little bit about me, dude.
But that doesn't dictate, her yelling something for whatever reason. That doesn't dictate the relationship. That's not a look at it. You can't use one night where someone's drunk, where everyone's drunk and people aren't getting along or whatever reason. You left me sitting outside. I'm gonna be mad. Come on.
Well, that too. And so now Karen's being also charged with driving under the influence, but all these other people did too. We don't have to go on about this. It's just a point.
It's wrong on every single level.
You have a question, why?
No, there's nothing to ask.
Okay. Oh, well, I'm on live right now with Tom. So then, all right, my next question is, how are those children doing that John so nicely, graciously took on? How are they? Where are they? How do we help these kids if we need to? Nobody knows.
That's a great question. I don't know.
Nobody knows. Maybe it's better that nobody knows. Maybe they're really going through a hard time, and no one,
I don't. The loss these kids had, they even get to lose Karen.
I know. That's what I mean. So Karen can't talk to them. I mean,
that's a loss too. I mean, people don't see that. That's a loss for her.
Now, is Karen reachable by the public?
No, I don't think so. I don't think she's reachable by the public. which is
No.
kind of good. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't not no, not that I'm aware of.
Okay, so let's move on to the next question. My next question is I saw something. This is I'm going off of that night to something else. I saw some people peacefully protesting in
Okay,
front of that pizza joint, and the cops come over, and you know, First Amendment right to stand there, First Amendment right for the officer to come there, but they're holding, their tablet, and I heard that they're doing face recognition on that. Is that what happened, and why?
yeah, and why? Because the police chief is more worried about people holding signs than anything else.
The police chief what?
He's more worried about people holding signs than people throwing eggs, than people getting murdered. You know,
Yeah, last night I heard about the egg thing for the first time. Like, it's a little traumatizing for that child.
amazing. A little fight. I mean, the kid was the kid handled it like an adult. Like, the kid was awesome, but he shouldn't have to have. That's not what we were there for. That's not what we're about. And he's got to deal with something like that from somebody evil. No, no, that's not right. No, 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 no,
No,
no.
that's not right.
So yeah, so I
Um,
filed a report, and again, the chief did nothing. The chief didn't even tell the lady whose child it was that you need to go to court. Like, they didn't even file charges, Kerry. That's how the corrupt they are. They let the
so
lady get away with it. No problem, no harm.
so so
No,
they just like pushed it off, like stick it in
yep,
the file, and it's poof gone.
gone. Bye. Yep.
This is so disturbing.
This
Um,
tomorrow, the people of Canton are voting to change that. They're voting for an audit, which is going to go in. Now, my boss loves audits, my old boss, because it proves he's doing more work with less people. The
yeah,
audit will show that. So he's like, I need more people every year. He audit, great. I need more people.
yeah, he's
Why
got the money.
why wouldn't the chief want an audit? The chief would say, hey, I need 4 more officers based on the workload.
All right,
No,
so here's my question on the audit. What do you think that they don't want to find? What are they trying to hide in the audit?
you really want me to answer that?
I think a lot of people want to know, and I know it has something to do with money, but other than that, I don't know.
Think about this, okay?
Well, I will say, when I worked for Fidelity Investments, we got audited every year, and no one was petrified about anything. We just got the work done, and they moved on, and then they come back once a year.
Imagine this, Kerry. Imagine your green room, okay? And it was full of cash and full of drugs and full of like guns and stuff like stuff you take from other people, stuff you don't want the public to have. You take that stuff and you put it all in your green room. Money, like pounds of drugs, and like that much full. And
I don't want that stuff in my green room.
listen, but you have the key to it. And then you go and you die for whatever reason, right? And now someone else gets the key. Now they go and do an audit of the evidence room, and it's short. So what happens? They tell the chief, and the chief says, "Yeah, I know. Don't worry about it." Great. Next time the person who's in charge of the evidence room gets a key, they open it up, they do an audit, and they say, "Hey, this is something's not right." Chief says, "Yeah, don't worry about it." So
So,
Braintree did one, and they were
mhm.
missing like $422,000 in cash, missing guns. Like, guns were missing out of the evidence room. It was a bad scene. So the people of Canton aren't saying that same thing is going to happen here. They're
Mhm.
saying that if they can't collect blood properly or protect the crime scene properly, the police department needs more training because they have bad leadership. If the police department can't prosecute an egg thrower that's got it on film, that's got that's got multiple witnesses, and they can't prosecute an egg thrower, I think they may need a little bit of retraining or something. I think that's what the audit's going to find out. They can't prosecute an egg thrower. Think about that.
So it's been 2 years since the incident. Did they have an audit last year, or they haven't been audited in 2 years?
They've never been audited that I know of.
Who is the company that audits them?
They usually hire a third party company out of Boston.
Who gets to hire that? Who gets to pick that person to do that audit?
Well, I think the selectmen wanted to do an in-house audit, but the people said no.
Are they serious? Like, are they serious?
Now, the two of the selectmen voted on something that has to do with police matters, but they both have relatives in the police department. They can't vote. They have to abstain. They voted. They can't.
Isn't that conflict of interest?
Yes, they can't. They have to abstain. They didn't. They voted anyway. That lady went up there and called them out on it, and they're like, order, we're all done. The meeting's over. Meeting's over. She's like, no, you can't do that because you're not eligible because she's dead right. She's absolutely right. 100%. And they absolutely start banging the gavel. Meeting's over, go home. This is a selectman. This is the people who are fighting against the audit. What's that tell you? How bad is the corruption there?
I just have to say, I've not, even all my years of living in two small towns, Whitman and Hanson, there's never been a meeting of any group of people in that large of a number, including like even graduation. So it seems like this is a pretty big deal, huge deal in this town, and it's happening tomorrow?
Yes, the big deal.
What time and what? Tell us, people, can you go if you're not from Canton? Like, how does it work?
Yep, anybody can go. Okay, how it works is they have a area where Canton residents are allowed to go, where they vote. Then they have a place where Canton residents, I think Canton residents who don't want to vote but want to go can show up, and then a third place where everyone else can go in the back. So
Listen, is Karen considered a Canton resident, or was she?
No. It depends on her mailing address and her length of residency. She'd have to change it on her vehicle registration and her license.
We don't know that.
No, I think she wasn't. I think she wasn't permanently living with John. I think it was
she had her own place too.
Yeah, I think they were just back and
Yeah,
forth.
that's normal. That's normal. I mean,
yeah. So tomorrow is the residents have a chance to do something really, really big, like massive. They get to move. They get to rock the world tomorrow. They have this opportunity, whether they take it or not. I mean, I've held signs for them. I don't even live in Canton, and I went out and held signs for them. I believe in the people that are there. That they need new selectmen. Like,
so is any of the Canton residents get to speak tomorrow at the microphone?
I don't think it's that type of a meeting. It's they have the articles on paper and they read them out, and they vote yes or no, up and down, whether or not they pass that article. I believe that's how that works. Every town's different. Every bylaw in town's different. Every rule.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Listen, getting into local politics, you'll hate it. I had to.
Well, okay. On to the next.
I had to go down this already. Remember, I had to fight the planning board. I had to fight the zoning board. I had to fight City Hall.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Tom saved a high school out in Western Mass, and so
Southern Mass.
I'm sorry.
New Bedford, the second largest high school in the state.
And so we could do another whole live about that. So Tom's been in cahoots with towns. He knows the rules and how this works and how that works. And Tom did not stop. He persevered all the way through to make sure these kids, which he didn't even have one kid that he even knew in the school, but his heart was bulging out of his chest to make sure these kids didn't have the toxicity. If I remember correctly, it's kind of like reminded me of like the Aaron Brockovich case. Not like the exact thing happened, but like the same passion for the project was like what you had, like Julia Roberts was.
It's just contamination, and the way I found
Just
out,
contamination. That's bad.
depending on the level of contamination, dictates how it gets removed out of the ground. You need an LSP. So an LSP is the person that just manages the contaminated soil to make sure it doesn't migrate any further. And how it, oh yeah, I fought the city. The city was going in on weekends, digging up the contaminated soil with a subcontractor, saying we need this much excavated, and the subcontractor had no idea. It was highly contaminated with PCBs. So they got busted for that. So then they had to do it. Yeah, they
Okay,
built.
so I'm
Oh
gonna
no!
I'm gonna stop you there because I have a question about and I'm gonna probably only do 3 more questions and then we're gonna wrap it up. The plow driver, he seems to be a key person in this. So along with that, could you share like the Ford Edge? Like, I'm sure that police officers can do a search for Ford Edges in the neighborhood. So tell us about the plow driver and how the Ford Edge came up.
All right. First off, who 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 do you think drives a Ford Edge? Just guess who drives a Ford Edge. You'll never guess.
Proctor.
No.
Somebody inside that house. Am I
Well,
getting closer?
well, yeah, because he was in the house.
But his car was probably in the garage.
No. So the Ford Edge, just so
Well,
you know,
the plow happened first, so maybe explain that.
but Colin also drives a Ford Edge.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he does. You know how we know? Because in the FBI documents, they went and served him at Bridgewater State College. They went and found him and pulled him over in this Ford Edge.
Is that new news?
No.
Again, everybody, I'm new. So, and then the plow driver.
Now the plow driver, Lucky.
Let's
Okay.
go back to the scene of that night. Like, I want a picture.
So Lucky is like every other DPW worker that you know. He's typical DPW worker. Works hard, goes to work in probably dirty clothes that he's gonna get dirty in anyway. So I do the same thing. I wear my clothes 2 days in a row. I'm working like that. So he's good at what he does. Now he takes pride in plowing. And when he plows, he cannot wipe out all the mailboxes. Okay.
Right.
That's definitely gonna get you fired. You don't. And if you look at the street, there's sidewalks on either side. There's berms. So he drives his plow right next to the berm, so he doesn't wipe out the berm either. Okay, so he's got to put the plow blade edge right at the corner here and clear the street, and this will come over the edge. His plow is okay? It's not a driveway plow. It's not a little plow. So when he came down the street, he couldn't get down the street
Because the Ford Edge was in the way.
Ford Edge was parked right exactly where they found John's body.
What a tactic, huh? What a tactic. Because you said to me when you told me about this that the plow driver is so high up in the plow, which makes sense that you'd have to really have a vision of what's going on the road.
Not just that. He's not just a U elevated, but you have different type of lights. You don't have the headlights. You have floodlights, 4 headlights. Your headlights, I've put them on. You use floodlights for them. They're super bright. They're brighter than everything, and you point them. Okay, so you want to see, especially in the snow with the wind blowing and everything. Them lights will light up. They'll light up a lot. So he had the lights going so he can see, and he's elevated up. He's used to plowing. He knows where all the telephone poles are, where the fire hydrants are, where the manholes are. There's a fire hydrant right there, Kerry. You don't think
Right
he
where John's body was found, correct?
right where he's looking? He needs to see where the hydrants are. Can't block the hydrants. He knows that.
But
He's
the Ford Edge blocking the hydrant,
the Ford Edge was right in front of where they found John's body. He couldn't
which
get
is right by the hydrant, right?
exactly. He couldn't get the plow down the street. Now, because Lucky works for the DPW and Lucky's happy working for the DPW. He's content. Like he does his job, like he knows his job and does his job pretty good. I'd say he knows his job pretty good, more than some other people, right? I
Yeah.
mean, so yeah,
All right, so that's
who
lucky,
that's who Lucky is, and he's just the guy that wants to do his job. He's
right?
just the guy that plows the roads. He fixes the roads. You know, he's the guy you need to maintain infrastructure in the town.
So did
He,
the town question him that night or the
nope,
next day?
nope. Karen's investigator found him,
Okay.
and Aiden found him. He was found by 2 different people who did the legwork to actually ferret out this guy. No one else did that. Nobody else went and ferret. No one else went and got found somebody or said this. No, that was hard work. Those 2 people did the work.
That's
Absolutely.
amazing. That's really amazing. And again, it shows the lack of service work that those officers should have been doing by
But
the
wait,
lawyer doing it.
are you ready? Colin was never interviewed by the state police until the FBI interviewed him. And the state police went and picked up Colin. What did they say? What did they say? Psst, 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 psst. Don't come out. Don't come out. Don't come out. She's out. No, I'm just kidding. But what state police pulled Colin in after he got pulled in, and then she, Lucky
This
gets
Colin is a character. I mean, like, how old is he?
19, 20, 21, 22, college, punk,
Is he
young
going to be part of? All right, so
chain
like
gang, highway, picking up trash. We hope so.
oh yeah, but not even no. Maybe they should just keep the door shut and that pit that people go to. That might be a good spot. But my next question is, when do we get to see what happens next? Like, I know we have the town meeting and the audit, but when is the next court date for Karen? And is there going to be a jury? Do we know any of that yet? And are the jury members going to be from Canton, or are they from surrounding towns? Like, school me on that, and then let's wrap it up.
Okay, so the people who are going to be on the jury, we'll say, okay, they haven't been picked yet.
Do we know the date when the next time she goes to court?
I have it in my phone. Yes, I think it's December 5th.
So it's coming up. So we want to make sure everybody knows so they can hold their sides.
They'll know.
Well, December 5th is coming up.
Oh, listen, no. The people will know when the time is. They know.
Okay.
So
I want to know. That's why I asked the question.
You're gonna know. March 12th. So, March 5th, December 5th is Turtle Boy's court date. Now, this is where it gets important, Kerry, okay? It's complicated, but it's critical. With what Turtle Boy did, what he's finding out, he knows too much. Okay,
Seems
so
like it.
so so they jumped on him and they took his phone, they took his computers, they took everything, anything electronic they took, right?
Yeah.
Make him start over from scratch. They still
Did they
got all.
really trash his house?
I don't think they would. I don't think they were conscientious of what they were doing, if that's a better word to put it.
Because that's really disgusting too. No professionalism whatsoever.
It, it you expect more, right?
I do.
Expect more
hmm
because, like Helena Rafferty said, that she herself should be held to a higher standard.
I heard that. I actually saw that was one of the only few things I saw her talking, and I also thought she could have looked a little bit more professional. Like she should have had her full uniform on. Just
No,
being a resident, I expect them to be head to toe. When you were, apart, your
no,
stuff had to be pressed perfectly, and
it don't. No, they don't roll like that. It's different.
well, to me, it matters how they represent themselves, especially a chief.
You would think the chief, you'd want a strong leader.
Not like no, not ragging on her, but she just didn't look put together. And for a chief, that worries me for that town.
Now, guess what? You're gonna love this one. She's the chief. Okay. The chief before her is out on medical leave. Okay. That's Chief Berkowitz. Okay. Chief Berkowitz drove by 34 Fairview and found a piece of taillight as he was driving by. All right. Now, I got a question to you about that. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Have you seen how thick his glasses are? Because that boy can't see jack.
No, I didn't notice that.
Remember grandma and the glasses that were like,
Yeah, they were like Coke bottles, we'd call them, I think.
that's what he wears. But yet he saw a piece of glass as he was driving by for no reason whatsoever. Now,
Sorry, friends, my son came over for something.
you'll never guess who his girlfriend
Who?
is. Not the eye doctor.
Dollar store?
Miss Rafferty's his girlfriend. Now that in itself is a conflict of interest.
Yeah, another conflict of interest. They're bouncing all over the place.
I do believe there was supposed to be no inappropriate conduct in between officers. If he's on medical, he's still an officer. He's still getting paid. He's still paying into the retirement board. He's just not active duty, but he's still on duty because he's still getting benefits. He's still collecting his holiday, still collecting his everything, his time off, all that good stuff. He's got all that in the books. So he's working. He's still there, but he's not. So yeah, Mr. Berkowitz and Mrs. Rafferty are a thing. So how does she get her job? It's my question. Because we know another female police officer who took the chief's test, aced it, and became absolutely stellar.
Stella, badass.
That's not the case here.
She would never show up without her cap.
Kidding me?
Not for a second.
Thank God, no. No.
And so I do. So I guess I do hold the towns that I grew up in to a high standard. And so when I see this thing going on in Canton, I'm like, what is this? Like, is this a joke?
Yep.
Like, is this a joke? Because this isn't normal. So I keep saying, like, why isn't Washington, D.C. a part of this? Like, why isn't this going like up, up, up? Because in my eyes, like the president of the United States should know about this, like what happens next? Like what happens at the next at the next court meeting? Like who's the judge? What's their name?
I'm glad you're sitting down because the judge is Auntie Bev.
Also known as,
Auntie Bev.
what's her real name?
Beverly Canone.
Why are you calling her auntie?
Because Sean McCabe threatened to bury Turtle Boy under Auntie Bev's beach house.
That's not okay. These guys are messed.
He threatened to kill him and bury him under Auntie Bev's beach house. So from now on, they're Auntie Bev. And
So is everybody invited to that house? Like, is this like an open door policy? Like,
no, you can rent it for $4.75 a week though, and those are friend prices. That's
listen,
perfect.
I wouldn't even step on that land if you paid me. So that's, I just, I want to see what happens next. I want to see Alan and his co-attorney kick butt in that courtroom.
They will, and lies a little. You can't.
Lies a little, right? See, I'm still learning all the plays.
You'll know who she is. You can't discount her. She is
No.
She's so sharp, Kerry. She's so sharp that it's scary. Like she's, how can I put it? She's like Rain Man for law. Like she's got every single like in how she talks to the judge is so demeaning to her, right?
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh no. The judge doesn't like her. You would think woman to woman, open up, warm up, none of that. Just no.
Well,
And
nowadays, women of power are coming more and more, and I love to see that.
listen, I'm all for that, but the judge in this case is not so much like.
So can they request a different judge?
Yeah, and
Because I know people like that have had trouble in court. So they had this judge over in Brockton. They used to call him the hanging judge. So if they knew they were having that judge, they would try to get it changed. Now, is that happening with Karen?
that's why Auntie Bev's involved. Exact same thing, Kerry. Exact same thing.
Okay.
That is the exact same thing here. Auntie Bev is that judge. Okay. Adam Lally is that guy. These are the people that have to be in place. Think about it. You want someone that's not going to question anything in place. And Adam Lally doesn't question a thing. He just does what he's told. He says that the 911 call didn't. I mean the search didn't happen at 2:00. He said that in court. So because he said it, it doesn't make it true. But he seems to think that's how it works.
I think there's a lot of people telling lies under oath, and that is something that should be, recorded. And, I'm sure that her lawyers are all over it. But, like, that's a huge deal from what I've heard. Like, you can't lie on the stand. You can't, like, lie standing up at a town meeting. Like, you're literally on camera for all this stuff. And this town and these people have no regard for the true word, or really even their own police department.
The people in power are the people that have the guns. That's it.
And that's where we're just the little people.
We're nobody.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing to that circle of power in Canton. And
but it looks like Aiden became a big somebody, didn't he?
Oh, he's bigger than.
Didn't really want to get into Aiden, but
he's bigger than that power that they have, and that scares them. So what do? They can't fight him back because he's got the truth on the side, right? What they're gonna argue facts? Okay, and that's funny because we've been asking to hear from the other side. Give us facts. Tell me something
I'd like
different.
to hear something from the other side too. I'd
I-
like to see them hold signs. I'd like to see them like really, really stand up for what they believe in, like everyone in your ball court is doing.
You know what happened? You don't know about this. Rita and a couple other ladies in Canton.
Mhm.
Wonderful.
I
One,
have met Rita, very nice woman.
they got nasty, nasty letters sent to their house. Like not death threatening letters, but pretty troubling, nasty, vulgar, so bad they won't even release the contents of the letter. Even readers won't even
Who
release
are
it.
the letters from? Anonymous?
Anonymous. But it's
Because
funny.
they won't, because Rita won't say, and which rightfully so of her own
No,
safety.
no, it's no one knows who sent the letters. But
Hmm.
the language in the letter is the same language that was used to try and get a restraining order against Turtle Boy.
Ooh, that
See,
sounds a little bit,
do you see how this is?
yeah,
Now,
sketchy.
the pizza guy, the guy that owned the pizza store where the cops came up and harassed the
Yeah,
people, had every right to be there. The
yeah, they did.
cops came and harassed them with the reader, right?
Yeah, that was disturbing.
Well, Chris Albert owns the pizza store across the street.
So what?
That's the biggest problem. So what exactly, right? He's not
Yeah,
he did
he's across the street.
he he wasn't there, right? At the murder, right? Then what did he see? If he wasn't there, what did he see?
Exactly. So it's like
Nothing.
they're trying to protect him
Being questioned
the from
from
the truth.
just being questioned, and they go as far, Kerry, to arrest the journalist who's reporting on all the corruption.
And
That's
yeah,
all
I think that that really
they have. That's brass balls.
it is. And I think that's when Aiden got arrested, that definitely made me blink twice. Like, really? Is this really happening? And two, like, you're very big into the case as well. So, I care about you and your safety and your rights. So, I mean, I
I'll,
think we all care about each other's rights if you're on this live.
I'll never break the law, and neither would Aiden. So when they come at him with these what 7, 8,
False.
9, 50 felonies, right?
It's bull.
They took pieces of what he said, little snippets of what he said, and used them as saying he's a danger to and
Yeah, there was one that I remember, and I guess so. I watched when Aiden went to court live, and they mentioned something about ordering pizzas and then not picking them up. Now, come to find out, Aiden never said anything about not picking up the pizzas. Someone in the chat said it. So that didn't come from his mouth. It came from someone else's mouth. And Aiden says, I actually told them, do not do that. Whoever the person was that commented. So
arrest.
it goes to show, let me talk, that they are not looking at the whole thing. They're just pulling what they want and not doing the real work. That is disgusting and wrong.
Do you know? Do you know? Think about this for a minute, all right? They're using these clips in the wrong context to
Mm-hmm.
prosecute somebody for something they didn't do. Does this sound familiar? Think about this. Would they not do this to Karen Reed, maybe? You don't think? Right? And Kerry, you don't even know about Sandra Birchmore either.
I have heard a tidbit, but that's something that I cannot stomach. I am just not that person. So I think what's fair to do now, Tom, is to open it up to any questions from the chat. Or can you read some comments? Because I can't see the chat.
Yeah, Chris Albert, convicted murderer. Yeah, he killed a Hungarian exchange student.
So wait a minute. That I heard that recently. You gave me that tidbit too. Let's share that tidbit with our friends.
Well, the selectman, the guy that's in the selectman's meeting, right? He got into an accident and and severely hurt somebody, and then he left the scene and took off. It was a big manhunt for him, and they found him when he turned himself in the next day.
Turned himself in. Wow, somebody actually owned up to something.
No, here's where it gets good. They can't find his record now when they did a freedom of information request. He's got no record.
Come on. He got wiped clean from harming somebody.
Who's got access to that?
Who?
I don't.
Who?
I
The
like-
Commonwealth, the State House.
I wonder if they will they whack the dispatcher if they'll find out who did that, because they can go in and find out who modified that record and changed it.
Hmm.
So they turn someone from guilty to completely never been charged. Listen,
It's not even on the paper. It's on what they white out. What they're
Yep.
using white out nowadays. Like
gone. Doesn't never happen. Think about
Alright.
that. Power
what else?
needs
What else we have going in the chat?
power. That's craziness.
Any questions, guys?
Fucking tomorrow, Canton people, please, you gotta vote. You gotta vote. You gotta vote. Please vote tomorrow. We need a yes vote tomorrow. That's just putting everyone on the same page. It's gonna
Mhm.
help. It's gonna save money for the town of Canton. Telling you, it's absolutely gonna save the money. You absolutely please vote. I'm gonna start broadcasting at 3 o'clock tomorrow, or around 3:30 on when I get there. So I'm gonna be there nice and early. I'm gonna try and see people coming in, try and interview people coming in, try and interview people coming out. Do like an
Be
exit.
careful.
Why am I allowed to do that? That's my First Amendment.
I know, but just make sure you're so many feet away with your camera. You know, do it just like you've been doing,
Right.
peacefully.
And again, this is different because this isn't like this is a town meeting. This isn't like
This is a very odd town meeting. Like I said, I've never heard of this many people congregating together for something.
yeah, but I'm not sure about the sign rules in regards to a town meeting. I know when they do it in town hall, I can use my
Stand
sign,
right out front, right?
right? So what about the high school? They changed it to the high school. Am I allowed to walk in front of the high school?
Yeah, you have to check that out because it is a place. You know, it's a high school, so probably different rules, and they
And it's-
probably did that on purpose.
Is it a public high school?
Is it? Yeah, right. Oh, if
a-
it's public, well, yeah.
Is it a public high school?
So I did hear that both residents and non-residents were welcome. That there's limited seating, like, and that's all that I know.
Yeah, it's gonna
And
be
then something about if the yes no
they can
vote
hold.
happens, then they have some sort of paper they can fill out. But the question that we never got answered when I had heard Rita talk about that is, or maybe I got interrupted by my kids, is who's going to count those votes? I would love to count those votes.
What they do tomorrow is they hold up cards, flashcards, a red for yes, green for no, or whatever. Red.
Are they
green.
going to run out of yes cards?
When the selectmen sit there and everyone that votes, everyone they look into the audience and they see all the same color, they know it's a yes vote. And they see more red than they know it's a no vote, based on that's how they do that. That's the
So
paddles.
how do you think it's going to unfold? What do you think is going to happen?
I can't see. First off, I think the selectmen are gonna stall and drag it out and make the most boringest part come out first to drive the people out of there.
Yeah.
What their first strategy is gonna be. Second one is they're either gonna turn the heat off or turn the heat on.
Yes.
They're gonna make people uncomfortable.
Yes, especially because they know a lot of older people want to attend.
And they're trying to start it early. So So or they're gonna really, really slow it down so that people just want to get it done and go home. And they're gonna get mad and angry when it's like 11:30 and they've got no vote yet. That's gonna happen.
It's
So
pretty awful that we have to know that they're going to try to make it hard, and they're even going to maybe make their elderly citizens uncomfortable. That's not right. That's just, it's not, that is just
be
disgusting again.
grateful you don't live in Canton.
Oh, I
I
am. I am grateful I don't live in Canton. And by all means, friends, I am not here to bash a police department or anyone of service. My father was in the service. My brother Tom was in the service. My other brother Brian was in the service. I do service work for recovery. I'm not bashing them. I just want what's right to come out for the town and for Karen and for Aiden, of course.
Yep.
But I am really, my main focus in my eyes is Karen. You know, because I'm a woman and I could see things like this happening to people, and being wrongfully accused is got to be the most heartbreaking thing when she's so sad about her husband. I lost my husband to a sickness, and it wasn't like what happened to Karen. Like, I can't even imagine being in Karen's shoes. Like, I just can't imagine.
Yep. And
And God bless her soul and her family and everyone involved, you know.
and the people who are supposed to protect you are the ones that are trying to hurt you. I mean, that
That's sad,
quantify that really. You can't.
right?
So, yep.
All right. Well, I think this was a good Q&A. I don't know what our friends are saying, but I definitely want to start to wrap up so I can get the kids ready for bed.
Um. All right. I'm going to put this in chat. This is my email, everybody. All right. The problem I have is I can't. I can't. I cannot. I can't play that in good conscience in the public straight out. I can't.
No, 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 no.
No.
So can we let Kerry go?
You want to just say the last minute, say goodbye about anything?
So I just want to say that I hope that everybody in Canton who lives there shows up for the vote. I know that my brother offered to give people rides if they need it. He's got a big vehicle. It's cushy. It has seatbelts. It's safe. So if you need a ride, I know that he's putting his email out there. I know that his phone number has been blasted all over the place. And anyone that can go as a supporter tomorrow night for, you know, to hold a sign that says vote yes, because some of these people might show up, and this is what you have to remember, who really don't know what's going on. They're just like, I heard I should show up. And then they see the signs that say yes, and then they're like, wow, looks like a lot of people should be saying yes for someone that's on the fence. So if a lot of people show up, that's going to be good for the people that are not sure.
And everybody has to show up. Even if you think your neighbor's going to go and you don't need to go, that's not true.
And COVID's going around, so there's a lot of people staying home sick. So please don't let, I'm not even supposed to say that word. Please don't let the sickness keep you back. Cover yourself with the mask if you feel more comfortable. Bring your hand sanitizer. You know, if you need to sit far away, then they should make sure that that person gets 6 feet away, because that's what their job is as a town, is to keep everybody safe. And so I hope and pray that this goes smoothly and safe, and that the audit gets done thoroughly and detailed. Thank you for having me, and thank you for listening to my brother. Like and subscribe, hit the bell, and thank you for having me on, Tom.
No, anytime, Kerry. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
We did. Thanks for everything today for the birthday too.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions before I bail? Anyone? Yeah, that anyone that wants to hear that, they can send me an email, and I can touch base with them, and it'll all make sense. I'd rather err on the side of caution and respect than anything else. I'm definitely gonna lose sleep over this one. I, I can't. I don't even think I wouldn't. I don't want to even let anyone experience this. This isn't what. So sometimes you just have to trust people. You don't want to hear. You don't want to hear people having the worst day of their lives. You don't want to hear that. It's unnecessary. You you need to know that it's why we're here, right? You know, we know what happened. We need to fix what happened, and it starts with Canton. We gotta help the people of Canton. We gotta vote tomorrow. Vote yes, absolutely. You definitely need the audit. Need the audit. It's gonna save you money. It's gonna make you're more efficient. It's gonna make in the long run you're gonna be a lot better off. And the side effect, if you decide against it, God help you guys. I tell you, if I will absolutely, I will never step foot in that town, and I don't know anybody who would if the changes aren't being made. You can't. You don't run towns like this. You can't. People pay too much in taxes to be served in this way. You know, unacceptable. Unacceptable. You can do better. You can do a lot better. I know you can. Look at what Rita is doing. I mean, the lady that, oh my God, that lady who spoke out and said you and you aren't allowed to vote because you both have conflicts of interest in the police department, but yet they voted anyway. And when she brought that up, they started banging. Meeting adjourned. I got a second over here. I got a third. You know, I mean, what type of leadership is that? When she's pointing out something that's absolutely positively true, she's absolutely dead right on the money, and she points it out, and they end the meeting like that. That's a lot of that going on. So, um, listen, I got 1,000 subscribers this morning. I hit that 1,000 subscribers, and um, I think I made a maybe a little bit bigger of a deal out of it than I should have. But I thank everybody for subscribing. It's I'm in awe. I can't. I hit 1,000. Like my nephew's birthday, and he saw it today, and he was jumping around, psyched and everything. Because he'd always ask me when I pick him up, we go do things. Say, how you doing? How you doing? But yeah. So my email, so you guys can have it, is cputom@gmail.com. Once you figure that out, CPU Tom. Send me an email and I'll respond to every single one of them. Absolutely. I can touch base with you. I'd love to. It it hurts. It hurts. And I can't I can't I can't let you guys feel that. Sorry. So with that said, let's see what's here. Bring donuts tomorrow. Definitely. Yep. I'll be there early. Nice. Kimmy, thank you. And Jules, thank you. It's good. If that's a Jules, I think it is. I miss you, girl. If that's the same one. Yeah. Hi Donna, thank you. You're welcome, Donna. It's just I can't. no. I'd rather lose the sleep than have anyone else. I'm used to it, you know. Um, so I appreciate everyone listening to me. I appreciate everyone coming to my channel. I thank it. I hit 1,000 and I was jumping up and down this morning, so I was very happy. Updates on Karen. We need to get more. I read the the affidavit from Alan Jackson, and I'm halfway through the motion to rule. I'm still reading that. That is, it, it's hard to read, so I have to read it a section, a paragraph, and then sometimes I have to go back and look something up so that that paragraph actually makes sense, and then that one's got to make sense with it. It's just a lot. Then they use case law, and I'm not getting into that, but it's a lot of reading, and I'm almost done with it. I'm halfway done with that one, so I'll come back with more on that. Tomorrow, Canton, start cleaning. We got to start cleaning house. Got to start there. We fix Canton. We fix Aiden. We fix Karen. Canton, Aiden, Karen. Hopefully not in that order. I mean, we want to fix, I guess, Canton last, so that we had our choice. Let them suffer a little more. But Aiden and Karen, you can't imagine the uncertainty that they both have. And you know, it's funny. It's not funny, but I want you all to try and think about this for a second, okay? In regards to Aiden specifically. Like, Aiden knows he's got 1,000 people behind him, 10,000 people, 100,000 people behind him. He knows that. Like, we all tell him. My relatives in him, everyone's in, and everyone's coming aboard, and things are going and progressing properly. Awesome. The problem comes is he's the one they charged. So they mean something to him, whereas the felonies don't necessarily mean something to the random citizen in Canton. You know, he's knows he's got people behind him, but he's got just him, and there's no one really beside him. Like, he doesn't have a double. Does that, if that makes sense, what I'm trying to say? Like, he knows we're all behind him. So how do we then take our support and make it relevant? Well, the only way we really know how is to donate, right, to his legal fund. And at that point, we hope the legal people fight for him the good fight that he deserves. That we all know that. But there's got to be something, you know. I mean, what else can we do, right? As a group to lessen or to let them know that we're not just behind them, but next to them, you know, because you know he's the one that's reading these documents. He's the one going through all these clips, pulling the, you know, all the things that were taken out of context. He's doing all this work to fight his battle, you know, and he's got a lot of people helping him. I know that, but what can the rest of us do, right? You know, the pressure he just got added to him is probably the same amount that Karen got added to her. You got some corrupt people doing some corrupt things, and all of a sudden you got a charge on you. Boom, right? Aiden wasn't going to accept a jaywalking charge. No. They threw felonies at him. Just like Karen wasn't going down the misdemeanor road. They threw felonies at her. The murder. You know, this common common occurrence here. You know, whether they're overcharging people or whatever, there's something wrong over there. And these two people, granted, Karen's got people behind her. She knows we support her. I don't know how else we can tell her, but what else can we do to help her, right? How else do we stand beside her, let her know that she's, that load isn't just on her shoulders. It's split between two people. Now you're splitting the load. Right now it's all on the single, on each individual shoulders. I can't even fathom waking up like that. You know, it's just, it's not right. It's absolutely not right. So anyone can figure that out. Can you let me know, because uh oh my God, is Erica doing that? Oh, I did. That's right. All right. Um, everybody, just a heads up. You need to know this, guys. Um, there are there are more giveaways. Yes, Jenna, I'm going live tomorrow. There are more giveaways on the Justice page. Nick and Jenna just keep outdoing themselves every time. I mean, the amazing raffles. You got to go there and raffle. But even better, Erica Madden is bringing pizza and hot chocolate. She's coming from the Star Drive-In, and she's going to drive it all the way to Canton for us to be able, all the people that are going to be, I guess, holding signs. And I tell you, hot chocolate on a cold night is going to be just hit the spot just right. That's really nice of her to do that. That's awesome. That is awesome. Um, um, is there a way to thank her and Turtle Boy for bringing the corruption out in the open? Yeah, see, there you go. That's, how do you thank them? They both got charges against them, right? Like they're taking the hit, you know, just like the dispatcher. She took the hit, right? They're both taking the hit. Karen and Aiden are both taking that charge. I mean, wow, just wow. I can't believe it. Yeah. Yeah, I can't believe. I mean, Nick is. Let me just try and pull this up here. Nick's got so many positive raffles going on. Like, let me see if I can find it there. Each one's better than the last. It's awesome, absolutely awesome. Let's see, Nick. I mean, they're the ones who that was that one. I'm just looking right here. I'm looking. I don't see it again. Yeah, they're the ones that put in all the work. They're the ones that actually do the work. You know, anyone that anyone that wants to help, more than happy. But I mean, with what they do, it's just next level. I don't understand. Um, wouldn't be able to do it. Yeah, yep. But you know what, Jenna? Like, i- it's funny. You can give you can give the same prize to two different people, and Nick would outraise the other person for whatever reason. He's just got something about it. So yeah, people, if you have not on the Justice page, the Justice page is you want to join the raffle? Yep. Anytime you see a raffle by Nick or Jenna, you wanna enter that one, and it's only like $10, sometimes $20. Um, and for what you can win, it's the best return on investment you'll ever get for what little it is, and the money all goes to a great cause. So it's absolutely beautiful. Yep. Yeah. Wow. And and Jenna, he does it so well too. He does it. It's funny how people kind of made for that role. He's the guy there. So yeah, so when tomorrow I'm gonna go live from the meeting, and again I'm gonna try and get some polling information. Please get a count. Um See how many people are coming in and out. So if we have 500 people coming in and they say there's 800 people voting, we know there's a problem. So I'm gonna try and get a count before of everyone walking in. So I'm gonna try and get there earlier than everybody, but I know there'll be people sneaking in one way, the janitors and stuff like that. So, but again, thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for putting up with my sister. She's new here. She's still asking a bunch of questions. She's probably going to be yapping all day tomorrow with more questions. And it's funny because she just asked me like logical questions. How come there's no crime scene tape? They didn't put it up. What do you mean? You're supposed to. And where's the evidence? And how come it's not back yet? And where's geofence data? And it's insanity. So again, tomorrow, please vote, please vote, please vote. If you need a ride, please get in touch with me. I will come and get you and bring you to vote. I don't care which way you vote, one way or the other. It's your right to vote. People died for this right. So if you want to vote tomorrow, I don't care if you vote in one way or the other. If you want to ride to the polls, I'll come pick you up and bring you to the polls, and not a problem. Um, I think we're all set. Yep, Chrissy, I'll be streaming it, so you'll be able to watch us live. Yep, and again, thank you, my sister. I'll tell my sister that you think she was great. Um, and again, my email. I'm gonna type it back. I'm gonna type it in the chat here for everybody. I'll respond to any email that you send me. I want you guys to know why I made the decision I did, if that makes sense. I think it will. So, um, real quick, let me go to this real quick. Facebook. I'm gonna do what Nick says here. Nick. This is this can go away. Yeah, I really it's sorry to keep you guys online, but Nick's these are worth giving away. Are you kidding me? Dude. All right, I gotta share this page. Wow. Um, Jesus. All right, I'm gonna share this page, you guys. Check this out. Nick, man, you keep doing it, man. I'm just tell me you can see that stuff. Look at and this is nothing. Wait to see what else we got going. Look at the red in that. That's pretty. Okay. But that's nothing. Let's see if I can share this one. Will that one come up? Yeah. Look at that. That. That is sweet. These are your cutters right there for your cigars. Yeah. Boy, my mouth's watering. Look at them. Them are friggin' I want to know how much they cost. Those are some seriously high-end cigars. Can I zoom in? It won't let me zoom in on it. Wow. Nick, yeah, telling you, outdoing, and it's even got the little cigar case on the side too. Wow. You just like keep outdoing yourself, man. I don't know what you're gonna break one of these one of these days. How do you do it? Wow. Um, that is definitely worth entering, guys. That was that's some high quality stuff there. Wow. Um, again, Nick and Jenna knock it out of the park. The justice page, I'm not sure if you get over there. Um, it's just so much there. Um, Still reading the motion, and when I finish it, I will give you some more information. Until then, been a great time, and again, I thank everybody for watching, and I want everyone to have a good night, and let's go Canton. You guys can do this. This is a chance you have, a once in a lifetime chance. Other towns don't get this chance. You guys do. Let's not waste it. I mean, the adults are supposed to be in charge, right? Let's make that happen. I know we can make it happen. You know, we can do better. You know, getting to vote no tomorrow. Vote no for Canton. I'm sorry. Vote yes. No nonsense. Let's stop with the nonsense of all this no stuff. Like, no, we didn't do this. No, we didn't do that. No, we can't meet with you. No, we can't have you discuss that. That those days gotta stop. You know, better, better. We can do better than that. We know we can. Especially with the money you guys pay in taxes. Oh my God. And the houses are beautiful. I mean, I go down every street, they all look the same. They all just dynamite. So let's keep it that way. Let's keep the inside Canton as good as it looks from the outside. All right, boys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, everyone, have a wonderful night. Hope everyone stays safe and see you tomorrow.